Seek and ye shall find. See, the more that you seek, the more that you find, the more that you learn, the more that you know. To know thyself is the ultimate goal, right? So, a little background on me and where I come from, essentially how I was raised. I feel like that tells us a lot about people. So, before my father passed when I was a child, my parents had a Christian TV show on Daystar back in the 90s. I'm not going to go into a bunch of personal details on that because I do like a little bit of my own privacy. If you know me, you know. But I was raised very, very by the book, by the Bible, right? My parents were of a non-denominational faith, and they genuinely did everything the way that a Christian is supposed to. You know, my dad used to go pick up the homeless and bring them to church every Sunday and make sure that they got fed before dropping them back off. Gave just about every dime that we had away. Their ministry was nonprofit. They worked a day job just to try to keep us afloat. But my father, before he passed in 2000, was the best man that I ever knew. Still is to this day. But you know, I was never totally satisfied with what I learned in church. In fact, and at one point I was even a student leader for my church. So how did I go from that to teaching esoteric knowledge and reading cards on the internet and going to school for psychology? Well, you know, the more that I learned, the more questions I had. I found that to be a truth about just about everything in life. But, you know, I wasn't satisfied with just the answers I'd found in the Bible. Well, the more that I searched, the more I found how they had changed a lot of things in the Bible that we currently have, and how the entire Protestant movement was still governed by the Catholic Church in a lot of aspects. If you go back to the canonization of the Bible in the Council of Nicaea, Archbishop Duke Francis, who later went on to become a pope, I want to say it was Pope Francis. I would have to check some of my writings, so on that. But basically, he had a hand. The Catholic Church still had a hand in the canonization of the Bible. So that's why you see, you know, the Apocrypha and all of these books that were taken out. Now, when you study these books and you have the awareness that a lot of these things in the Bible, yes, they are stories, but a lot of them are symbols as well. There's a lot of analogies and parables that are utilized. You start seeing things a little bit differently. You know, our dream state is a bunch of symbols, analogies, and parables. A lot of prophets, a lot of seers, a lot of way that people get foresight is through dreams or those aha moments, right? Well, as Billy Carson has taught, you know, we have these things called epigenetic memories. And our DNA actually holds up to 14 billion years of epigenetic memories. And so that's why sometimes you will feel like, you know, you've done something before, that deja vu feeling, or, you know, you learn something, you're like, I've known this before. You have. You're 100% right. You have. That's why I actually have my mother's blessing doing what I do now. Now, mind you, I came from a family that would not even allow me to watch Pokemon as a child. But as a parent myself, I also have learned that, you know, most of the time, a great teacher learns a lot from their students. That's why when my daughter wanted to start reading cards periodically, I will allow her to. Because as a parent, even in getting onto her and teaching her, I still learn the most. She teaches me more than anyone else. Being a parent teaches me more. So there's a whimsical irony to that. But as now I go forward and I'm teaching my mom the things that I have learned, and she, even in her 60s, is learning. You never stop learning. But, always have an open mind and understand that a lot is yet to be revealed still. And you're never too old to stop learning. And understand that most people don't care to learn more. Don't waste your breath on those that are committed to misunderstanding you and are comfortable in their complacency. But don't allow that to deter you from the illuminated path. Understand that we are all light and dark, and balance is what we should strive for. We choose to not be ruled by one or the other. Instead, understanding the purpose of both, and being thankful and gratuitous for both. It's really the right way of being. Try to make sure that your focus goes to the appropriate places and that you move out of a place of love always.